Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Pursuit Live. With me, as always, is my partner in lives, Mr. Dave Hawkins.
What's up, killers? What's going on?
And I think tonight we got a hell of a show for you tonight. All right. Joining us tonight is Chef Jeremy Critchfield. You all may know him as the HuntChef. Chef, thank you for joining us.
Man, I wouldn't be anywhere else tonight. I'm so fired up to be in this thing. You gave me a little bit of an idea of some of the questions that are coming, but I got a couple more things to share with you. So let's go.
All right, listen, we've been waiting on this, so we're ready to go. All right, everybody. I know that we said last week we were going to do the fundraiser drawing this week. Good news, bad news. Bad news is we couldn't get all three of the organizations to join us tonight due to scheduling conflicts. However, the good news is they will all be joining us next Friday. So the even better news is you have one more week to purchase your tickets for the Pursuit Live 2024 fundraiser raffle. We are still selling tickets. Please hit up Dave, myself, or Rob if you're interested. All right, $20 a ticket gets you in. It's like a $3,000 prize package, and all of the proceeds are going to the American Bear Foundation, Wounded Warriors in Action, and the NYPD archery team. You could win the 2024 Matthews lift with the stabilizer and the quiver, QAD drop away rest, a pack of Easton Axis arrows, pack of G5 broadheads, a Trophy Ridge Alpha React 1 sight, Delta Mackenzie shooter buck target, a ground blind. What else do we? Is that it, Dave? That's everything?
As always, you nailed it, my man.
There you go. So everybody, if you haven't already, please hit us up. Tickets are still available, and you're benefiting three great organizations. So next Friday, we will be doing the drawing live right here. All right. So please hit us up and tune in next week for the drawing. We apologize that we couldn't do it this week. We know everybody was interested, but we're going to get it next week. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this. Are you ready for this, Chef?
I am. And before that, I'm like right there with the dive, but I feel like hearing about everything you're doing for that giveaway, we're going to top it off with a 6-pack of HuntChef seasonings. I'll get them in the mail on Monday. So throw that on top.
Listen, you heard it there, folks.
Throw it on top.
HuntChef himself is throwing in on the raffle. Listen, I might have to buy tickets at this point because now I'm interested. Now you got me hooked, so I might have to buy some tickets just to win that. All right, so if you guys are ready, let's get right into it. Dave, you ready for this?
I am. It's good to be back in the seat. I'm back from turkey camp, so let's get to it, man. It's good to be back with everybody.
All right, take off, buddy.
All right, Jeremy, how we doing?
Yes,
Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for sharing your time with us.
My pleasure, man.
All right. That's very generous about adding to the giveaway. We did not know about that. So thank you.
I didn't know about it.
I love it. Hey,
listen,
we tell our viewers, this is why you pay to tune in.
It's a live show. You never know what's going to happen.
Live and unscripted, baby. That's how we roll.
That's it. I love it. America.
So in the beginning section here, Jeremy, it's going to be me and you. We're going to break it down a little bit. What we like to do is we like to let everybody know who we're talking with as far as like the person behind the camera, behind the brand. So, I mean, you take it back as far back as you want. Really, what got you outside? What got you in the woods? What started this journey that led you to HuntChef ultimately?
I can't tell you how many times I've told this story, and I can't underscore it, underline it, highlight it enough that it is the absolute core of who I am. As a young kid growing up here in Southwest Pennsylvania, I was born, I'm going to age myself right now. I was born in 1972 in Armstrong County, Pennsylvania. And most of my childhood, I would say even going into high school, even getting close to graduating, my granddad on my mom's side he was my rock. I guess he raised me, at least from a man standpoint. And he grew up through the Great Depression, and, how he was born, I can't remember if he was born in 37, but like how his birthdays, somehow he missed World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And I don't know how that happened, but I'm so glad it did, because he, again, growing up through the Great Depression, taught me how to not waste anything. I was the kid that washed the green bean cans, peeled the label off, cut the bottom out, smashed them flat. We recycle before recycling is cool, because he can make a nickel. And those nickels added up to dollars, and the dollars added up to, take it from there. And, we didn't have a huge garden. And he had grown up as a farmer, and he had sold most of his farm stuff, but still kept the backyard piece, the garden, chicken coop, duck coop, rabbit pen, geese, etc. So, coming over from church, Sunday school on Sundays, changed out of my good clothes, put on my the other clothes, walked down the hill, across the creek, into the coop, grabbed something by its feet, pulled it out, brought it up to chopping block, hatchet, head off, and then, dinner was a couple hours later, and we hunted and fished like it was our job. So that was how I grew up. I knew where food came from. I knew something had to die in order for us to eat. And, I knew the what's the best word? The commitment, the honor that goes with taking life to feed your life. It was not lost on me. And, he was the guy that taught me how to skin a deer. And if you nicked a cut through that hide, I mean, there was hell to pay, right? So you're very careful, because everything was worth something. And whether it was monetary or, mental or heartfelt. And so I took that and I started, I was a redneck asshole, and quite frankly, sorry about French, through school. But I worked, I started cutting grass long before I could drive. And then, once I could drive, I started cooking short order, pizza shops, family restaurants, Long John Silver's of all places. Went to culinary school, and then I traveled all over this country cooking at the highest levels that you could do it. Mostly at resort hotels, but all 5-star, 5-diamond, 4-star, 4-diamond places. I got to cook the most expensive, rarest, craziest ingredients, you can imagine. And once I started that, people, when they hear, oh, you work 100 hours a week, that doesn't register. But I worked 100 hours a week for 22 years. And it really, I got to work alongside people from almost every country you could imagine. Central and South America, China, Russia, all over Europe, Canada, you name it. I got to cook alongside them, and I wore the big tall white hat and the long white apron, and it was something. It really was. And coming into 2012, I wanted to change, and I got into a partnership to operate a National Historic Landmark restaurant here in Southwest PA, a little hour and a half south of where I grew up. And it was transformative for me because I could finally grow a beard. I came to work every day in jeans and boots.
As you can see, we support that activity.
That's right. I'm sorry. You asked the question, so I'm just going off.
Wow, that's it. Your story. Tell.
But it's I created a 4-state catering company, a butcher shop, an online ordering deal, and a huge barbecue operation, and did that for about 10 years. And just leading into that, had adopted all 3 of my kids. So it was a huge piece of my life. And for about 2.5 years now since, all we do now is HuntChef Inc. The seasoning line. This is what we call the Delicious Dozen. This is our little countertop display. Sorry. Oh shit. Sorry for the brazen marketing effort there, but I wanted to share with everybody. You know, we got like our two of our most popular. I'm going to figure this camera out here sooner or later.
You got it. You're good.
Big Sexy Beast Rub and Canadian Carnivore. And we just, we do a ton of social. We're 4 seasons now in on Sportsman Channel with our show Mountaintop Outdoors, YouTube, all the socials. And I don't know. We're just living and loving life. And we've got about 600 retailers across the country for the seasoning line. We do a lot of barbecue still locally here, catering, and we run a food trailer. But mostly what I love is wild game and fish and sharing what I know as a chef that, you know, has started from that very beginnings with my granddad and grown all these years later. I mean, I teach people, you know, the one-man deer breakdown. I do a ton. I've done so many live streams, cooking wild stuff. I mean, bears, beavers, pheasants, deer, squirrels, any fish, you name it. And it's been a hell of a ride. But I've done all that just to earn the opportunity to be here live on this cast with you guys.
Right.
And I feel like I've reached that next pinnacle and goal in my life.
You don't need no Michelin stars. You're up Pursuit Live in your life.
I'm sorry. I ran at the mouth so hard for so long, but it's who I am. It's what I do. And, the seasoning company, but sharing and getting people fired up to get the next generation in the woods, on the water, and then get them in the kitchen with the processing and the cooking to make it taste great. So the kids, new adult onset hunters, whatever you want to call them, or anglers, when are we going fishing again? When are we going hunting again? That's what I want to hear in our America. Know where your food comes from. Know that something has to die in order for you to eat. And God damn it, let's make it delicious.
That's it.
Fucking A, right.
Oh, we can just close the show on that. What do you think, Chris?
That was it. All right. So thank you everybody for joining. I mean, that summed it up right
Thanks,
there.
everybody.
I don't know how we're gonna follow up with this. So have a good night.
That's right. He's gonna make me work for it. First night back, he's gonna make me test my co-host skills. So we're gonna take that awesome intro and we're gonna break it down a little bit. So obviously, and I wrote it down, 1972, Southwest PA. That is without a doubt, that is a different era. That is a very specific region of this world.
Yeah.
With a very specific era. And you spoke on that very well. I guess the best way to kind of summarize, resourceful. Nothing goes to waste. In that area, in that region, in that time frame, if it's broke, well, damn it, we're not buying another one. We don't have the money for another one. We're gonna fucking make it work.
That's right.
That definitely translates into that everyday aspect of life. So when you're cutting your teeth down in the woods, I'm sure that probably went from like rabbit hunting, turkey hunting to deer hunting. Is that true, or did you just happen to start maybe with whitetail hunting? Doing deer for everybody.
I remember, and so with that very specific state and timing reference, you couldn't actually hold a gun and hunt until you're 12. There was no mentor program. Thank God Pennsylvania has done what it's done, because I mean I've had my boy out now since, I guess this is going to be his 8th season, and he's only going to be 13 this fall. But when I was a kid, like I got up at 3:00 in the morning to go with my granddad in his old Chrysler to drive to Bedford County to hunt with his buddy Ralph on his family farm for squirrels. And I can remember we'd sit down at the base of an oak or hickory, God knows what it was at the time, and I lived for it, but I fell asleep and I didn't wake up till that old 16 gauge pump, that Ithaca barked, and I watched, and the squirrel dropped. I mean, squirrel hunting is where I cut my teeth. Okay. And, as a woodsman, as a cook, I can't imagine still to this day a better way to start that, because, squirrels, it's not that hard to kill a squirrel. But when you really pay attention when you look for the nest, when you look for the claw marks on the tree, when you look for the the acorn and hickory shells that that are left behind, and being able to get in them and get after them, and then to cook them and make them taste delicious. Which my granddad and I mean, we killed, I don't know, 200 squirrels a year and ate every single one.
Wow.
That's where I cut my teeth. But then groundhogs, rabbits, deer hunting was always a bonus. I mean, I tell everybody that when I was a young kid, our Thanksgiving table probably looked a lot like the Pilgrims, although they were closer to the coast, so we didn't have much fish. But it was stuff raised and picked in the backyard, and stuff from the woods. Obviously, deer season in Pennsylvania hadn't come in at that point, but we probably didn't have much left from the freezer. But it was pretty awesome. And fall turkey, I mean, turkey, where I grew up, I mean, there was seeing a turkey was like seeing Jesus. It was. It's not like it is today because there's friggin' birds everywhere. But
Interesting.
Awesome.
All right. So now as you're getting older, you're getting a little bit more proficient at your hunting skills, whether it's rifle or archery. The meat is really, you're actually starting getting a large quantity of meat coming into the household. And again, I'm just using this as a reference. 70s, 80s, 90s. There isn't the technology that we have now, whether it's like the freezer dry bags or the vacuum seals. I still happen to use the older technique of the butcher paper, the wax paper, saran wrap, and the freezer bags. But what were you doing? Like, I'm sure there had to have been a trial error, not only preparing the meat, but now storing it. Like, what was that like in the beginning stages where you're just kind of learning on your own?
Well, I was learning, from my granddad, and it was a lot of the freezer paper.
Mm-hmm.
You put that log of meat down, fold it up, roll it like a big burrito,
Yep.
put the tape around it, right on the outside, with the pen or marker or whatever.
True.
And that's I didn't even really talk about HuntChef or why I did it, but that I hope we can get to. But yeah, coming up, it was all whatever my granddad taught me.
Okay.
And then once I started into the culinary world, again, I got out of the outdoors for way too long because all I did was work. But I think it was all just preparation, getting me in the right place and the right mindset for, teaching, training, and sharing what I've learned. So,
yeah. No, without a doubt. Like, because I know personally, if I know I prepped, like, let's just use venison. If I prepped it, stored it, cured it, wrapped it the way I know how, and I see the date on there, I'll eat it if it's 3 years old without even thinking about it.
oh yeah,
Inspect it. But that seems odd to some people. But the prep work is so critical. No matter what the game is, for that long-term storage. And I think sometimes that gets overlooked. Would you agree with that? Do you think that's a vital, as one of the most vital steps is storing the game?
for sure it is. And it's like, a lot of fish, rather than filleting it. I mean, a lot of folks fillet it, freeze it in water, salt water. That's great. A lot of times I'd almost rather do it, just gut them and freeze them whole, because there's less damage from, freezing for that point. Squirrels, gut them, freeze them with the skin on. Rabbits the same way. But a lot of people, if you, the vacuum seal side of things has come so far, and it's so easy. And now, with you can get a Nova sous vide cooker, so you can clean it, put it in a bag, put the seasonings in, maybe some HuntChef seasonings, garlic, whatever you want, vacuum seal it, cook it in the sous vide, cool it, and then freeze it. And all you have to do is just warm it up. So everything is the preservation, the pre-preparation. It, to your point, is absolutely key. And that all starts in the field or on the boat, wherever you're at.
Nope.
But now the options that we have, and I just bought one of these mason jar vacuum sealer deals. Haven't had a chance to use it. But it's like every year it gets easier to preserve, to your point, your harvest, and whether that's foraging, fishing, hunting, wing shooting, whatever the case might be. But being able to, use resources and love, obviously, everybody coming to the HuntChef side, but there are so many great home cooks, creators, outdoor enthusiasts, whatever you want to call it, that have so many good ideas. And that's, as much as I hate the internet, it is one of the greatest things for human sustainability and deliciousness. Not human deliciousness, but your food. That I can't even imagine how we're going to top it 100 years from now.
Yeah, that is definitely something we've mentioned a lot on this show. Like with social media, whatever platform you like, when it's used the right way with good intentions, it's such a powerful tool, and it really is. It's unfortunate that along the way you're going to have to deal with some negativity or whatever the case may be. But without a doubt, to your point, when it's used the right way with the right reasons, it's almost anything can be accomplished. And it's a great advancement that we have at our fingertips now. I think I'll probably end it with this, and then we're going to switch it over. We'll get producer Chris in the mix here. I'm just curious about like the evolution of your cooking process. Like I could picture you like either in your first house or apartment, like trying a certain dish, and it just, man, that tasted god awful. Unfortunately, we got to feed that one to the dog, or deep six it. And like, how did that go? Like, was it just a lot of late nights of just trial and error with different seasonings or combinations of whatever it was, marinades?
Well,
like, did you have a notebook? Like, I picture you had like this notebook starting out. Like, honestly, like just an old school, like marble notebook. Just right.
Oh, yeah. I had so many notebooks.
Yeah.
So many notebooks. And, but, and this isn't me bragging, but all I do is work. When I was home, that's when I'd lay in bed with a drink, probably, and make notes. I want this flavor combination, this technique, this style, this recipe, whatever the case might be, was how I lived my life for so many years. My cooking was all done at work. So, and the more, if I had a day off, which was so rare, I'd go by, if I'd sleep till noon, probably, or 1, I'd go to the grocery store, buy a ribeye. I'd come home, I'd sear it medium rare, and I would just eat that and maybe some blue cheese or something on it, and then sleep till I had to go up, for work the next day. But at work, I pushed myself and everybody around me to, okay, this is fantastic. How do we make it better tomorrow? This recipe was great with this, but let's try it with this. And, these carrots are so sweet naturally. How do we accentuate that, but not make it overbearing, but also make it complement the duck or the chicken or the scallops, whatever we're pairing with it. So every day at work was that kind of mad scientist sort of food thing. And you don't see that here now because I'm bearded and getting long in the tooth. But I got to tell you, for
you ain't that long in the tooth. Let's be serious.
Time, that's how I lived every single day. And, it's through that growing people alongside of me, because I was never the best cook. I was never the best chef. I tried to be the guy, the person that brought everybody together around food and got them excited about it and challenged them to get better, make it better. How are we getting better tomorrow? How are we going to work better as a team? How are we going to make the food better? But I filled notebooks and notebooks and notebooks, to your point, about how to accomplish that for years.
I had a feeling, like I said, and speaking to your point now, that continuous improvement mindset, that's a real thing. That's a Fortune 500 company mindset. My company practices it. We try to practice it. A lot of companies try it, but it's this 100%. We succeeded. Let's do it better. Let's do it quicker, cheaper, faster, better, whatever the case may be. There's always room for improvement, and especially us as outdoors men and women, hunters, anglers. We can always improve, without a doubt. There's always something we can improve on.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's your trail camera game, your scent control game, if you feel like you got to dial it in, bring somebody with you, go for a hunt, go fishing, and say at the end, what do you think? What could we have done better? And that better could be, how could we have enjoyed it better? How could we have been more successful with harvesting more? Everybody's better is different, and that's okay. Just getting outside now I'm going to go off on another tangent here. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. It's your story.
Getting outside, getting people outside, getting kids outside, getting people that are, work, yard work, home, bills, whatever. Get them outside. You don't have to have a 45-foot, camper and a $110,000 dolly to pull it and all the other bullshit that can go along with it. Just get outside. Buy a goddamn $200 canoe, a $50 canoe, and just go outside. Buy a pair of boots. Go for a walk. That is where I think, as we get busier and busier and busier, take the time. I don't care if you don't eat till 10 o'clock at night. Make yourself a meal. Don't buy it in a box. Don't buy it in a bag. Make yourself a meal. Those things are what we keep getting further and further away from. And I think we see the results of that every day. I don't like to see those results. Nobody's perfect. I am when I'm on the road, I'll buy that box, I'll buy that bag, but it's only because of, time constraints, but it's only usually on the travel side. But get outside, people.
That's it. And Chris and I will.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes.
Because I'm gonna use that in the future. Like, that's one of my big things, is whatever gets you outside, just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it.
Get outside. Get outside, people.
Get outside.
Jeremy Critchfield.
That's really what
do it.
We don't care what you do. Do it the right way. Be respectful. Be courteous.
Yeah. And your way is the right way.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't give two shits what everybody that has 1 million followers on Instagram says about how you do it.
That's right.
Do it your way.
So, well, on that, producer Chris, I'm going to tap it off to you. Good luck following that one, buddy.
All right. So, Jeremy, I definitely want to tap in here. No, I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna
do
it. I was gonna say, I understand you're a huge Joe Biden supporter. I wanted to,
That's why
somebody who
this is what I just got in the mail today, literally from Amazon, the practical guide, and
there you go. Now we're fucking talking.
And then I got them for my son, but I am going to send them on to Joe.
So as a big supporter of the ATF, all right. As anybody can tell, this is my first weekend off in a little while, and we're hitting the Eagle Rare a little bit, so we're gonna have some fun. But so Chef, I definitely want to dig into your mind a little bit. There you go. That I couldn't have created a banner that would have rolled better than that. You missed your call. You should have been a surgeon. Those hands were steady.
Yeah, but I shoot with this hand.
Good quote, Dave. Good quote. I'll give you that. All right, so I want to dig into something here, and I'm a very analytical dude. For as Rob likes to say, I'm an engineer. But yes, I am a fucking engineer, and I like to get into the analytics about things, and I get very technical. So
let's do it.
I'm going to dig into your mind. I told you I was going to ask you some hard questions, so time to get a hard on. All right, so I really, when at what point in your career did you really get that spark, that inspiration where you said, this is what I want to do? I want to cook outdoor game. I want to cook wild game. This is where I want to go with my life. At what point did you really kind of see that?
So I would say if that spark probably started around 2007. I was right up the street from here. It was a very fancy, big resort hotel that I was the executive chef and food and beverage director of the whole thing. And as that's about 4 to 5 years into my tenure there, and I was getting settled in the community. My kids were going to local schools and the ball teams and everything, and the questions started coming. Hey, what am I going to do? My kid got these 2 squirrels. What can I do with them? Hey, do you have a good deer jerky recipe? Hey, we caught these trout. How can we cook them? That type of thing. So right around 07, it really started to kind of percolate. And about a year later, I said to myself, you know what? I want to make a website and put all these recipes on there, because at the time it was not foolish, but well-intentioned. So I had so much classical French, Greek, British, even, English cooking, American cooking, that would be lost so much on people that didn't do it for a living every day. But I had, ways to cook duck, ways to cook boar. And, I was drawn back to my childhood of squirrels and rabbits and everything with my granddad and deer. And so I'm like, I'm going to make this website. And this is obviously 08, before podcasts and social media. And so I just started typing. And instead of, we were talking earlier about writing all those cookbook or notebook notes in the evening, I started writing wild game recipes. I'm like, okay, so I need to have like 6,000 recipes. I'm going to have squirrels, and I'm going to have rabbits, and I'm going to have ducks and deer and fish and all this stuff, and saltwater and freshwater and upland and waterfowl. And I'm like, shit, this is going to take a while. But I kept at it. And then early in 2009, I can't remember how many bourbons I had, but I came up with this, this right here, HuntChef. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start it here, and I'm going to grow it and grow it and grow it. But the next year, changed jobs, adopted 3 kids. And I was like, holy crap. Didn't do anything with it for a while. Started into that restaurant venture I mentioned earlier. But then, really in 2018, finally, I got a logo and stuff. I can't get this damn camera straight. You guys got to figure this out. You got to do a better job at this. And it just snowballed. So, probably 07 is where that bug started. And today, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my film set across the way from me here, because that's where we film the TV show. That's where we do our live streams. That's where we do pretty much most of our cooking content. And I just sit back and I'm like, 2007 was a long time ago. I'm getting old, but I love it. I love it. I've had so many guests on. My son, has grown up on the HuntChef live stream we do. We started on Facebook and have done it on a bunch of other platforms now. And, when he first started, he was about this tall, and now he's about this tall. And it's, and just all the people that we've come across. I mean, we do so many outdoor shows. We travel a ton, and you get this like 60-some-year-old dude walk up, be like, "You the guy I watch on Sportsman Channel?" I'm like, "No, it's my brother." But I'll tell you some seasoning. But it's so interesting. It's so cool, and it keeps us going. I can't remember what the hell your question was, but I don't know what I'm saying.
Of course, it's got to be a cool thing. I mean, obviously, you're a very humble, very modest guy, but there's got to be something to that. After all those years of doing it, yeah, it's got to feel pretty cool to get recognized a little bit.
It does, it's just being out there and putting yourself out there takes a little bit of balls, for sure. And there's so many people that do it, but there's so many people that just don't take that next step. Like, I love seeing new creators on social that are cooking game, they're cooking fish. And even if it looks like their stuff sucks, I'm giving them fist bumps because just do it. Just do it, and you're going to tell yourself if it sucks or not. And then you're going to do a little research, a little study, and you're going to make it better. And it's the same way if you take a kid or someone else hunting and, if you don't kill anything this time, you're like, okay, we need to get up earlier next time. I need to work on my mouth call. Maybe we don't rattle that time, whatever the case is. There's so much opportunity to unplug and get people out there and then get home, shut the goddamn phone off and make a meal. So,
I mean, listen, folks, you heard
I
it
don't know
here.
if that answers
Get the
the
fuck out there, Jeremy Critchfield.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, so I kind of want to dig back into your pre-HuntChef years a little bit.
Okay.
What meal? Because I'm a huge foodie. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a big bourbon guy, but what you don't know is I also enjoy fine dining. So, what if you had to pick one meal that was not only your favorite to cook but also to eat? What would it be?
Oh my. Let's think about this. So let me give you three
I'll take 3. That's fine.
quick scenarios. One, New Haven, Connecticut. Know it or not, it is probably one of the most original places where you can find coal-fired pizza. Okay, so everybody's heard of wood-fired pizza, but New Haven, Connecticut has been making coal-fired pizza for, I don't know, 150 years, whatever it is. And I needed it's a whole nother story, but I needed to find out about coal-fired pizza. Went up there and it blew my mind. I'd made a lot of pizza up to that point, but when I had that and these people were like, yeah, it was like somebody you're walking into your average Subway. That's how these people were making these pizzas, and they were so friggin' amazing. So those were amazing. Second one, working in South Georgia. And I said I got to work with people from over the country and over the world. When a gentleman that was probably at the time 40 years older than me, maybe 30, probably 40, took me, not literally, but figuratively by the hand and taught me how to make fried chicken. I can't even begin to tell you how incredible that was. And then probably the last thing, there's a restaurant in New York. I don't even know if it's still open or not. And there was a chef, Mario Batali. He's a redheaded guy, wore shorts and Crocs.
Yep.
I never met him. And I was skeptical, and I can't remember the name of the actual restaurant, but I think it was in a meat packing district in New York.
Dave and I know nothing about New York City. We've never even been there.
Yeah, you didn't miss much beside food. But anyhow, went in there with one of the chefs that worked for me. We were doing some research for an Italian restaurant we were going to open at a resort. And I'm here to tell you the litany of Italian dishes that came to us and the absolute amazingness of each and every one that paraded to us, to our table, and then to our mouths. I thought I had some stuff nailed down and knew what I was doing. These guys tore me down and gave me brand new benchmarks. So pizza, fried chicken, and Italian food, those three, as a professional chef wise, were probably my my three that I would throw out there right now. You
I
know,
thought it'd be some like exotic, like Wagyu beef imported or something.
I
Good fried chicken and pasta. It was fucking great.
listen. I do want to say something. Chef, not for nothing.
listen here.
Not for nothing. You catered that
Yeah.
menu perfectly
Oh,
for the right crowd on this show.
But and you know, that's just three. I mean, I could go on that topic for a very, very long time.
You could take a dish from each region of the country, honestly, and pick one as your favorite. Like there is,
I would prefer to leave California out of that if possible.
yeah, we could let go of that one. But without a doubt, there is something to Southern cooking. There's something to the Northeast culture with our Italian background, Irish background.
Yeah.
You know, without a doubt. So it's definitely a loaded question. I was just expecting something different. But hey, it is what it is.
Listen, that's what it's about. And I gotta say, like the three things you picked, actually, I hands down, I agree wholeheartedly. I believe back when I was a young engineer and I was working for Amtrak, I was in New Haven and I had a coal-fired pizza, and he's not lying about it. There is something like like a brick oven wood-fired pizza. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but
sure.
I don't know what it is about that coal-fired pizza. There's that I can't explain it. But if you have the opportunity to try it, please, anybody, do so. And also, Dave and I might know a few things about New York City. I'm there every day for work, and Dave is there quite often for work. So we might have eaten in a few places.
Yeah.
But all right, back on topic here. So I do want to dig into a couple other things here. You've been doing HuntChef for a little while now. What would you say in your first year of departing from conventional restaurateuring, if you will, to what you're doing now? What were some early successes that you had, and maybe some lessons learned, things that maybe didn't go right, that kind of shaped how you moved through that point until now?
You said you're going to ask some hard questions. So it's been about 2.5 years, and the early successes were predominantly, I would say, the not that there's any easy buttons in any business, but pushing on, leaning on friends, business acquaintances, and the social media name that we had created to that point. And all very encouraging and, off and running like a rocket. And then, the challenges come when we, let's see, what are we going to throw here? So this is 10 ring grill rub, right? And this is one that I've been making for many, many years, but this is one of 12 seasonings that we put out there. This is one of the delicious dozen. And, once people try it, there's so much competition in that seasoning marketplace these days. I mean, you walk into Sam's Club, Walmart, the grocery store, wherever, there's, a ton of brands. And so where we have, started to, or not now, but when maybe at the end of year one, we started to not hit a wall, but maybe slow down a little bit. And it was all that initial interest, started to cool. Like, okay, well, we can't rest on our laurels, and the social platform and name we've made for ourselves, we need to keep pushing. And as many people as we've touched, we need to touch tons more. And, we started to fight things like, where's it at? Right here. So this camera's killing me. Right there. See that? Eat what you kill. So that's been, I trademarked that. So if you want to use it, hit me up. I'll charge you a nickel a t-shirt or something. But I did.
Good.
Uh,
You got it. Chris and I.
When everyday folks, grocery store wise, started to see that, they were like, "Oh, that's just for those hunting guys or killing deer." I don't know. So we started to move towards what we've done all the way along is this camera's really killing me. I can't get it right. I don't know if you can see it. Bloody hell. Hashtag wild flavor. So that's the piece where we didn't stub our toe, but we needed to be a little bit more available, to folks that are just, they're going to cook chicken, they're going to cook pork chops, whatever they've got, they're going to do at home. And we can't just be shoehorned into, if you don't have deer meat, you can't use my stuff. So there was about a year and a half where Kim, who's sitting right over
the boss.
I'm pointing right. I'm pointing left, but I really mean to my right.
The boss is over there supervising.
The boss is over there. She's like, "Listen, we got to do something about this," and we did. And the wild flavor has been fantastic for us all the while along. Hashtag eat what you kill remains who we are, what we do, what are at our heart we are. But even us, I mean, we're not eating deer meat 365 days a year. So it's a mindset. It's marketing, not on a Pfizer vaccine level. It's just marketing on a hey, this is delicious on everything level. So does that answer your question?
I do want to make a statement right now, a legal statement. Anybody who is going to be using HuntChef seasonings in the future will be required to provide verification via a card that you will have to carry in your wallet every time you use it.
I like that. I like that. Kind of that digital ID, but different. Get you some HuntChef Big Sexy Beast Rub in your life.
So I will say, all right, anybody who's watching, the first time that I actually saw Jeremy live was in Harrisburg, and it was actually this year at the outdoor show. Dave, myself, who were we with? We were with Frank. We were with Mike from Mike Nitre from BD, the Garden State Outdoorsman, and you could smell the cooking from a mile away.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that. It actually smelled pretty good. But if you haven't tried this stuff yet, I will tell you. Like Emeril Lagasse used to say, "Bam!" But whatever would be a step above that, I guess. Fuck yeah! That would be what I would hashtag for a HuntChef seasoning if you really wanted to step it up, if you want to kick it up a notch, I guess.
So is that hashtag FUCKYA?
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll leave the H off. We want to be as simple as possible. So
I'm not taking
I love it.
Most anybody that's interested.
So, all right. Now I want to keep going with the hard questions. So
You're still digging?
Yeah, I'm still This is what I do, Dave.
All right.
Let me get mine. You got yours. Let me get mine.
All right.
So from that first year, everything that you learned until this point, what do you see kind of 5 years down the road for HuntChef? What do you see as like kind of a longer term goal?
Have you been talking to my mom?
That was a great setup for a joke, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Good
man. Good man.
Because listen, I'll tell you, it's a sad truth that my mom is in what's the doctor call it, early cognitive decline, As both my grandmas went through, unfortunately. But, to that point, she never, when I was a young kid, like pestered me. What do you want to be when you grow up? She just recognized that I get up every morning and got myself ready, made myself breakfast, went to school and or worked. So it took me a long time to realize the importance of that as well, where she was never like that helicopter kind of mom that you hear about, or the piece where they're trying to shove something down your throat. What the hell was that song? Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys, right?
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up
Here
to
it
be
is.
cowboys.
Here it is. So there was never any of that. I think she was just happy that I could like bathe and dress myself and feed myself. So
I mean, I just want to give a quick second. I want to give a salute to all the mamas out there that actually want their babies to grow up to be cowboys. Let's just recognize that for a minute.
Hashtag fuck yeah. How about that? This world needs more cowboys and hunters and fishermen and gardeners and foragers and farmers and less fucking lawyers. Sorry.
Fuck yeah. Hashtag
right.
trademark.
So where are we at in 5 years? So in 5 years, I would like to see this brand, our seasoning line with all 12 seasonings, and we've got a couple new flavors coming out soon. Our kits for sausages and jerkies and brines all be expanded. I'm proud to say that we have nearly 600 retailers for our products around the country, and you can find them all on our retailer locator map at huntchef.com that Kim has built. They're all independents. Now, those independents may own a national brand chain like an Ace Hardware or True Value. I would like to see that many, many folds higher. I would like to see the brand. We've got 2 TV shows that we're probably going to produce just under the HuntChef brand. One's going to be called Hook to Fork with HuntChef. And God willing, that's just going to be me and my son Warren. Destination travel, fishing, meeting new people, seeing new places, and fishing and cooking. He likes to hunt, but he loves to fish. And he's working on his curveball. So, it gives us a chance to do all that. The other one is going to be HuntChef The Experience or HuntChef Inc. I'm not sure which is going to be the title we go with. And that's just going to be a little bit of everything we do, but mostly on the outdoor side, from cooking, hunting, fishing, our experience hunt camps that we haven't even talked about. But so both of those shows, and maybe even one more that I'm not going to tell you about right now. It has nothing to do with porn. Don't worry. Maybe a little bit of bourbon though.
Hey, we support that around here.
How about it? And the small but mighty team that we have assembled here at HuntChef Inc. We have a lot of retail opportunities in front of us. There's thanks to Joe Biden, almost 400 million people in this country, 320 some million, obviously citizens, the rest, whatever. So there are a lot of consumers. There are a lot of people that feel like they want a better connection, a stronger connection to the outdoors, which we spent a lot of time talking about. And I want to find over the next 5 years new ways to engage with those people, never telling anybody that they're wrong, but finding ways to collaborate, communicate, grow, whatever it is that gets you outside, whatever it is that gets you to get someone else, whether it's your kid, a friend, a relative outside, and then take that experience and get in the kitchen. I'm never going to be the guy that has, a 75 million viral cooking TikTok. But damn it, I'm going to be the guy that keeps pounding away saying, here's a great way to make this. Take it, make it your own. Use it as an idea, delete it, whatever you want. But I'm going to show up week in, week out, and keep sharing what I know and trying to drive that message home. And I'd like to have maybe a couple of days off here and there and take my fiance Stacy to the beach.
Listen, you got to take care of the boss. Listen, that's
is
that's
that
all there is
a
to it.
5-year plan?
That sounds pretty good. Take care of the boss should have been the top of that list. Just some career, professional career advice for you.
She's good.
Boss.
She's good. We've got plans. We've got goals. But thank you.
All right, so now we're gonna get into the softball questions, and anybody that's in the chat, please fire off your questions now. I know Apex Predators got a bunch lined up. I know some other people do. So I'm gonna start off with a question that I always ask people. Personally, as a hunter, what are 3 things that you have to carry with you besides your license and your weapon? Obviously, what are 3 things that you have to carry with you on every pursuit?
So, since it's a softball question, a knife. Past
fixed blade or what are we talking here? What kind of knife?
Usually, yeah. I mean, these days, and it depends how long I'm walking, but the HuntChef Battle Axe cleaver. You can get these at huntchef.com, but it's always either in my pack or on my belt. Hand sharpened by me when I send it out to you. Anyhow, but always a knife. And it's either that or you said about that's my granddad's pocket knife. Never leaves me either.
Is that an old timer?
I don't know what the hell it is. If anybody can identify that for me,
Is that an old shred? You might have to send me pictures of that. I think I might have one of those from my grandfather.
There's 3 blades. The one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk after the show. You might have to send me some detailed photos. I think I might have that exact same knife from my grandfather.
That is sick, man. I love it. So anyhow, a knife. I love a rangefinder, and then I always carry gallon Ziploc bags in my pack. So whether I'm going to put the harvest in there, or a lot of times I'll even use them in place of a glove. If you're going to get up in something, because, and I'll go off on a little bit of a tangent here for a second. I mentioned a long time ago in this broadcast that I've done a lot of what I call the HuntChef one-man deer breakdowns. I teach people how to process their own. And whether you're new, and it's really for folks that are new to it, whether they're new to the hunting or their processor went out of business, retired, it got too expensive. They didn't feel like they're getting their deer meat back or enough meat back, whatever the deal is. But you can use that gallon bag like a glove. And I always tell everybody, so it's weird on here right now. This is my right hand. Keep your knife hand dry and grab and growl with your opposite hand, because I see so many people that like they're holding a buck knife or some kind of knife out in the woods, and they just got a deer, and it's nothing but blood down their knife hand. I'm just losing my mind, because I can't tell you how many people in my chef career I took to an ER or something like that because their knife handle's wet and it slipped and they cut. So those are my 3 things.
Okay, solid. Now we have one question from our buddy Squatch. What's your preferred meat cooking? I guess setting, if you will. Are you a rare, medium, well done?
What would you honestly cook well done?
I don't know, but I don't have room for those kind of people in my life.
So if it's a steak cut or what I like to call middle meat, then it's rare to medium rare, and just depending on the animal, the species, and exactly which cut. But when you're talking about well done, I mean, chuck roast, whether it's beef or venison, turkey legs, duck legs, if we're talking about bird breast, ribeyes, venison backstrap, then it's rare, medium rare for sure.
I got a quick one that I think you'll have an answer to pretty easy. What's the most underrated cut of venison meat?
The most shanks.
Okay.
I'll give
So,
you that. Okay.
you know, from basically that elbow down, those shanks, so many people either chuck them or they try and cut it off and put it in their grind pile. When the Italian classical amazing dish called osso buco is made from a what are the dairy cows? Guernseys, but Holsteins. So Holstein veal is really where osso buco came from. So that's typically more on the calf side, very young. But any venison shanks that, I don't care if it's a 300-pound rutted up mule deer buck that stinks like, you know what, and has eaten sage for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for its whole life. Those shanks, elk, moose, cross-cut them, or you can leave them whole, but brown them up, season them with some HuntChef tendering and some flour, brown them in some oil, and then get the veggies and the broth in there and let them simmer low and slow. You can find plenty of recipes for those on the HuntChef YouTube channel, but the most underrated cut of venison of any sort, whitetail, muley, blacktail, elk, moose, is definitely shanks.
Okay. All right. We do have some. We got some good questions here from Apex Predator Hunting. Excuse me. Now this is kind of a two-part question. First off, tips for cooking bear.
Don't fuck it up. I had to. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'll accept that.
So bear, I would say, is just like treated almost just like deer meat. So you got your shoulders and your hams that are very different from any of your middle meat. We actually just posted one of our prior Sportsman Channel episodes, which was black bear rib chops, tomahawks, whatever you want to call them. And it was fantastic. And we ate the medium rare. But so bear, it's oh my gosh. So spring bear, almost always low, slow, wet, get it tender, use plenty of seasoning. Fall bear, far more tender, far more fatty, far more flavorful, enjoyably flavorful than spring bear for sure. And I don't have one here that I can hold up in front of you, but we make our brine kit, our country style brine kit. And if you get a bear hind leg, to use my brine kit, inject it, pump it up till it looks like the Hindenburg, like a hot air balloon, and then brine it 3 to 5 days, depending if it's whether bone in or boneless, or how damn big it is, because bear hams can get pretty big. But a brined HuntChef country style kit, brined bear hind leg, smoked, is like next to heaven flavor wise. You'd never believe it, but it is. And I mean, going back to oh, here it is. Look at that. It appeared magically. But the HuntChef country style brine kit, they just kind of float around here in the shop, even though it weighs like 2 pounds. But going back probably 6 years now to elk camp in Colorado, my younger brother Mick, shot a black bear at our elk camp in Colorado, and one of the older guys in there, I mean, big money guy, who was like a pallbearer at Steve Jobs' funeral, if you know what I mean. He had, so I ripped the back straps out of this bear and cooked them in cast iron there in the camp. And he's like, I'm not eating that shit. I said, just try a bite. He proceeded to eat like 7 chops. He said, I've killed and eaten bears on, I can't remember what he said, like 4 continents. He said, and I've never liked any of it. And he loved it. So bear can be great. Shorter answer, fall bear is better than the spring bear. Cook the middle, the back straps, the inside tenderloins, hot, fast, and thin. Anything else, cook it low, slow, wet till it's tender. Even if you smoke it first, and then cook it after that. Low, slow, and wet. Crock pot, Dutch oven, pan on your smoker with some broth or Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola. I mean, there's. Am I rambling? I'm sorry.
No, it's all good stuff. This is what we want to hear.
Because we could take this later on and chop it all up and like have those segments. So you do your thing, brother, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now here's a serious question, because Apex Predators is Canadian, our neighbors to the north.
Yeah.
Are your seasonings available in Canada, or does he have to order from the website to ship to Canada?
They are available in Canada, in Alberta, right?
I will tell you in a moment on the HuntChef retailer map.
How about we come back to that? But you can also check out the retailer map at huntchef.com. I know that Sweetwood's seasoning, Sweetwood's in Alberta, Canada, has been a retailer of ours for probably 2+ years, and they're able to do that. I'm not going to rat them out, but there's like a way they can get them in there that works for them.
Listen, whatever works.
That's what I'm saying.
That'll work out. And
Whatever works and keeps us off the ATF's radar.
That.
All right, so I have a question, and as usual, you have to expect this is going to be a hard one.
Hang on, real quick. One more. Do you like my sparkly purple pink phone case?
Yes, purple's the color of royalty. It's my favorite color.
So, I told you about that shit. What'd I just do? There we go. Smith Marine Pickerel River Limited in Ontario are also a Canadian retailer, but we're always looking for more. Apex Predator, hit us up. Give me some leads.
There you go. Bingo. All right, so here we go. Here's the hard one. I hope you're sitting down.
I am.
All right, so as a professional chef, for the rest of your life, you're only allowed to use 4 seasonings. No mixtures, no blends, no anything. And I will include garlic as a seasoning, just so you know.
Yeah, duh, right?
No, it's got to be fresh garlic, not minced, not like diced, or not like powdered garlic, or it's got diced or minced garlic is acceptable in this answer. What are 4 seasonings that if you had to cook for the rest of your life and could only have these 4 seasonings in your cabinet, what would they be?
So because you and I have very different backgrounds and understandings of seasonings, I'm gonna try and guess exactly where you're coming from with it. Obviously, at the top of the list is salt in just about any form other than iodized table salt, whether it's kosher, sea, Himalayan, Hawaiian, volcanic, whatever. But salt at the top, followed very closely by some or most versions of pepper, but black being, I think, the most savory and versatile. I would follow that very closely with smoked paprika, and geez, if you would include garlic, I'd probably put garlic on there. So that would probably be my 4 that I would only ever eat for the rest of my days.
All right.
What's the thing about the paprika? We've heard guys mention that before. It's very versatile.
So there's obviously very many versions of paprika.
Okay.
Paprika at its quintessential piece is basically dried, dehydrated, powdered red bell peppers. So
Okay.
depending on where you are in the world, that version of red bell pepper, how dry it is, how sweet it is, if there's any spice to that, and if it's toasted or not, as part of that process, there's a lot of variations. But smoked paprika is that. So as part of that drying process, the peppers are smoked, and they almost always, and somebody I pray is out there that can enlighten me, because I've just never looked into it. I've just always very much enjoyed it, used it, understood how to use it as a flavoring and in blends. But smoked paprika has this kind of iron taste to it, but not, it's more of a metallic iron, not if you have bad well water iron smeller.
It's like that rare beef iron where you can taste that like that.
I like that. I like that. It's close. But it's very distinct, and I actually use it in 2 of our 12 delicious dozen seasoning blends now.
Let's hit up Jason's question. That's what's 3 chef, what's 3 of your favorite HuntChef seasonings that you offer?
It's like picking my favorite kid.
I know.
Listen, we told you there was going to be tough questions, all right?
But I kind of do have a favorite kid. I love you, girls. But that's number one son.
I love you, but just so everybody knows, when you make a statement and then you say the word "but," that means everything that came before that "but" is bullshit.
Bullshit. Not bullshit, but yeah, getting there. Okay, so I can't pick 3 favorites necessarily, but these are the 3 that I have been making the longest. So 10-ring grill rub, speed beef rub. My granddad always called venison speed beef, so that's it. But great on everything. Low down and dirty, sweet and smoky barbecue rub. All my briskets, all my butts, salmon, popcorn, you name it. And then finally, big sexy beast rub has been a runaway for us. Where's it at? There it is.
I can put that behind my ears and drive my wife crazy. That sounds good.
Right? Drive my wife crazy. But if I had to pick 3 that were probably the quintessential wild flavor, everybody, probably HuntChef, Canadian Carnivore, my Bold Grill seasoning, Smoky Bayou, that's my sweet smoky southern blend. And I used to live and cook in South Georgia back in the day. And then HuntChef Party Foul. I call it my rock star poultry rub. But I took those little damn bouillon cubes wrapped in foil and like took them apart and put them back together and put them in a rub, in a shake. And it's pretty badass.
So everybody knows, if they were to go on huntchef.com, and because we are going to start wrapping it up soon, but at the end we're going to make sure we pitch all your your website and all your media accounts. But if they went on huntchef.com, they'll have access to each one and a little bit more of a description, exactly what's in it, what it's in for. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we've got tons of videos on the YouTube channel that showcase using all of them. So
yeah. Producer Chris, what do you think, buddy? We're at an hour 15. Anything else you want to wrap up with? Or
yeah, I do have one question for the chef. Now, if I wanted to commission you as a professional to create a spice blend for Pursuit Live, and I wanted to call it Phone Poll Dave. From the limited knowledge you have on Dave, what would you include in that spice blend?
Well, I think we probably have to use a bunch of cinnamon and a bunch of sugar. We're gonna have to sweeten it. We're gonna have to sweeten it way up. Maybe some of that butter powder.
I hate you, Chris.
Oh shit!
There's a long running joke behind the phone call, Dave. I'll give you that.
I'll bet.
In case you don't know, Dave last year found a telephone pole in the middle of the woods and decided to set his stand in the telephone pole for a hunt and made the mistake of filming it and putting it online.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was hilarious. and you know what's great? Everybody on the internet found it hilarious too.
Did you kill out of it?
I wish I would have. If I could make sure that was legal, I would shoot it. If it was legal, I was shooting because that would have topped it off.
So is that not legal?
Well, technically, I'm going to answer this no because Dave is not a union electrician. So no is the legal answer.
All right.
Well,
Somebody's got to take control of the show here.
come on.
Let's not up. It's only because I want to make sure we have enough time and we make sure we cover everything. Take it from the top, Jeremy, however you want to do it, but just pitch all your platforms, the YouTube, the website, make sure we cover everything, give you enough time for that.
Hey, HuntChef Nation, you can find me and everything we do every day, 24/7, 365. First and foremost, HuntChef.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check out that YouTube channel. And where we are here located in Southwest PA, we're nationwide. We've got our retailer locator map. We've got all 12 of the delicious dozen seasonings on the website. We've got all our sausage kits, our jerky, snack stick, and summer sausage kits, our brine kit, the merch. You want to check out this September, we're hosting our first Hunt Chef Deer, Gear, and Beer Expo, hunting, fishing, outdoors, and sportsman swap meet, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, at the fairgrounds. The most affordable and biggest outdoor expo you're going to come across. And if you want to check out any of the barbecue shenanigans that we do, you want to follow us on Facebook at Hunt Chef Meat Wagon. And dare I say, check us out. Season 4 right now, Mountaintop Outdoors, only on the Sportsman Channel. And wherever these two wind up putting this interview in my mug. Hey, and if you go over to HuntChef.com, you can get yourself a Hunt Chef battle axe, sharpened at a 25-degree angle. Yours truly, carbon steel, best wood grip you're going to come across. You can chop whatever you want. You can pound a nail. I haven't got that Phillips head attachment for it yet, but sort of shooting lane, whatever you want to do.
That's an apocalypse tool, man. At the very least, that thing looks.
That's what I'm saying.
Very cool. All right, producer.
Now, one more thing.
What do you got? What's that?
My 3 barbecue sauces were starting to bottle. So this is the Hunt Chef locked and loaded. This is like the tester label. Lose Your Mind, Carolina mustard flavor,
Nice.
locked and loaded. Obviously it's empty, but stay tuned. 3 Hunt Chef barbecue sauces coming at you soon. More to follow.
There you go, folks. A Pursuit Live official debut.
Again.
All right, listen, it happens all the time on this show. Apparently, I don't know what it is, but it's probably because it's actually a live show. So there you go, Hunt Chef barbecue sauce. Get on it.
On top of the 6-pack that he's giving us towards the fundraiser winner. So
You bet.
Very cool stuff going on here. I'll put it this way. Thank you again for joining. Like these are the types of shows that we truly, truly enjoy doing. We've been laughing our ass off the whole time, having fun. Getting to promote your brand and your business. And honestly, that's what it's all about. We enjoy seeing real people, authentic people, with such a passion. That's why you're able to, when you're telling these stories, like that's the reason we're not interrupting. You're so passionate about it. You're just pulling from everyday experiences, and that's what we want. That's what we like sharing with everybody. And honestly, that's what makes your brand so relatable. You're a relatable person because you're out there. You're doing it every day. It's not like you're stuck in the office. You're doing it. You're out there. You're living it.
What's wrong with people that are stuck in the office?
Those thin sock type of people.
Listen, motherfucker. I still have my work boots on, all right?
He says, listen, motherfucker. How about that?
Yeah. So, what we said earlier on about cursing on the show, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you, I've done a few podcasts. I've been fortunate enough to be on TV for 4 years, and I've done an absolute shit ton of live streams cooking. And you guys are so refreshing because you're just good people, and there's not 1 ounce of attitude or
which is surprising since we're a bunch of New Yorkers.
I wasn't going to leave that alone. Or any God damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not conceited in the least. I mean, and just to be able to have a great conversation, share my story and this brand and what this team's doing with you and your audience. I want to do it again. I'm gonna start doing some stuff and have you guys on it, and I want to hear your shit, how you have to say it about how you got it. So,
oh Jesus, there ain't enough bourbon in the world for this kind of story.
This has been an awesome break here this Friday evening from everything that we've been doing. So we're sitting around here, and you guys have been great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chef.
We're very humble. We're very modest in everything we do. We don't claim to be anything we're not. And there we go. We got some homework to do. But no,
what do you mean homework? You don't understand any of it? Like you don't have this memorized, Dave?
I could thumb through a couple pages.
Dave, this is a deal breaker. This may be the end of Pursuit Live right here.
Okay, Eagle Rare. Shut up.
Well, you can even get the little one.
Yeah, there we go. Got pictures?
You guys kill any turkeys?
God. I did not. My brother got it. That's pretty cool.
That little wing bone deal.
Yeah.
That's it.
My buddy Mike made this. They're so awesome. That was really good. Were you doing it just with your mouth?
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't want to know how you learned that.
A lot of late nights drinking while I was in the service.
Before we start this,
I love it.
night, gentlemen, everybody that's watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, thank you again for another great show. As always, I'm going to take care of Chris's duties for tonight. The Instagram page for Pursuit Live, go follow that. Go follow the YouTube. Honestly, the engagement helps. All the subscriptions help. The followers, they do help. We're not trying to be annoying by asking you to follow along. You guys know how it goes with social media. The more followers you get, the more subscriptions we get. It just helps us widen our footprint and reach out to more guests like HuntChef and Jeremy, spending more time. It overall helps everybody. The bigger we grow, we can help everybody else grow together. All right. So that's the only reason we ask. Make sure you go follow Chris at Only Bows, myself at Urban Pursuit, all the accounts for HuntChef and Jeremy and his brand. And thank you again. Tune in next week. Next week's going to be a big one. We got the raffle. You're now getting some seasoning, a 6-pack of seasoning from HuntChef. So spread the word.
You're stealing all my thunder, Dave.
I am. I'm cutting you right off, man. Yeah, close it out, producer Chris. You always get the last word, buddy. Have it.
All right. So since I got the last word, everybody, please, if you haven't already, hit Dave, myself, or Rob up. Good news, bad news. You got one more week to purchase tickets for our 2024 fundraiser raffle to benefit the American Bear Foundation, Wounded Warriors in Action, and the NYPD Archery Team. $20 a ticket gets you in. It's a $3,000+ prize package right now for a 2024 Matthews lift, fully outfitted with a Delta Mackenzie target, a ground blind, a pack of arrows, broadheads, and officially, as of tonight, a 6-pack of HuntChef seasoning. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. All the proceeds are going to these great organizations. So please, if you win, you're in. All right, you made it. If you didn't, you still benefited 3 great organizations, and we are proud to have been able to put this on. I do want to give a quick shout out to B&B Archery out of Middletown, New York, and Targeteers Archery Pro Shop in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, for hooking us up with the prize package. Their generosity definitely helped us raise these funds, and it's all going to good causes. So with that, Jeremy, I want to give you one last opportunity. Please tell everybody where they can find your content.
Hey, HuntChef Nation, thanks so much for tuning in tonight here on Pursuit Live with Chris and Dave and myself, and allowing us to come to you, there we are, and share everything we have tonight. We would love to have you follow along Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and especially YouTube, and even more importantly, HuntChef.com. Anywhere, just search HuntChef. But hey, do your best. Get the next generation in the woods, on the water, then in the kitchen, and always eat what you kill.
Hashtag get the fuck out there. That's it.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time out tonight. We appreciate it.
America.
Dave, as always, great job. And everybody that tuned in tonight or is watching this in the future, thank you for tuning into Pursuit Live. And you can catch us every Friday live at 7:30 right here, obviously, on Pursuit Live. With that, I wish everybody out there in the turkey woods good luck. For those of you that'll be, joining me in South Africa in 2 weeks, please, good luck, be safe. We'll see you all next week.